What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Narik Chase channel. I'm Narik Chase, and excuse my room, my office, because it's a mess, and I'm just disheveled like that. I don't get a chance to be up in here a lot, so I don't get a chance to sit here and straighten things out. But that's all right. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button to get the best of what we got going on this channel. And let's go ahead and get into it. This video is going to be 10 of my favorite movies that I own that are based on novels, you know, books, stuff like book movies or novel movies. I don't know. Anyway, they're generally movies that are based off books. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. For one, I have to bring in It. Now, this came out in 2017, and it is a reboot from the 1990, starring Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown, and this is the remake of it, and it's based off the book It, written by Stephen King. Really enjoyed this movie. I like the modernization of it. I love the scares. I love the performances. This is a incredibly dark movie. And any movie that sets his way out to sit there and kill kids in a movie, I can, might get my attention because, for some reason that's taboo, and it's like, it's a horror movie. Of course, little kids gonna die too. But this is just a good movie. It's horror aspect wise, it's really, really good. Cinematic wise, it's really, really good. It does tell a really good story. It does have really good characters, but of course, the saving grace of this movie, the most standout aspect of this, is the new interpretation of Pennywise, and I can't tell. And Bill Skarsgård does a fantastic job with this character, and it's damn light. Yeah, I'm turning that off. But he does an exceptionally good, well job with this movie. With the character of Pennywise, he makes it his own, and it's just an awesome movie all around. Probably is one of my favorite, more modern day horror movies, and it's just really, really good movie. Let's see. All right, the second one, we're gonna be going to Middle Earth, and that is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Now, I like this movie because unlike the Fellowship of the Ring, this one is more diverse with its story because it's basically separated into three parts, with the three groups of the characters setting out on their own little adventures in their effort to destroy the ring, stop Mordor, unite the kingdom. The performances are freaking solid. This is one of the epic fantasy movies that many epic fantasy movies wish it could be by even a fraction. I do love the performances. There are a lot of really awesome talent that's been in this movie. You got Christopher Lee, you got Kate Blanchett, John Rhys Davis, Bernard Hill, Liv Tyler, Viggo Mortensen, Sean Astin, Liv Tyler, Ian McKellen, Elijah Wood, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But the story is very compelling. The characters are really, really interesting. There are some really, really cool action sequences in the movie. In fact, the last act of the movie with the war at, I keep forgetting it, that the war at the Helm's Deep. The Helm's Deep battle is just freaking epic, and probably one of the best battles in the entire series. But it's still a really enjoyable watch, and it's great. Unfortunately, I hadn't read the book, and I'm in the process of reading this, but it's a big ass book. So next on the list is Fantastic Beasts 2: The Crimes of Grindelwald. I didn't like the first one particularly. It's not because it was a bad movie. I just didn't really. I didn't. It just didn't feel like. I don't know. It just really it focused on his character, and it wasn't that he had a bad character. I just didn't like the whole aspect of the animals and stuff. So I wasn't really interested in those. Of course, there's more going on, but it just didn't grab me for some reason, which I probably should go back and rewatch it. But this one Day one I watched it, I really enjoyed it. I like the performances. I like the tension between the characters. I like the ever-growing tension of this uprising of these wizards that want to rule over humans. And like I said, I like Jude Law as Dumbledore. He's great. Of course, I like Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. He's great. In fact, this is probably one of his best performances to me because he is playing a weird character, but he's playing a pretty serious and deadly character. And I like him when he plays villains, because when he plays villains, he is pretty serious with the role. But that's not it. There's more to the story. This time around, I do somewhat like the focus of the animals and how they do help. Newt. Yeah, help Newt in this case and things that he does. And I actually like it because he's a bit more serious in this movie, and I think that actually helps appeal to his character appeal to me a bit more. But I also like the supporting cast as well. Zoe Kravitz plays an interesting character in the film that I really like her character. I mean, it's just a very dark backstory to her too. But I really like this movie. It's probably one of my favorite Harry Potter movies. Probably like my favorite one. Well, it's probably one of my favorite 2 or 3 top. Easily. But Crimes of Grindelwald. Next on the list, another Harry Potter movie. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I keep forgetting, I didn't read the book to this. But I did read the book to this. And I would get the Hallows Part 1 as well, so it'd just be a book. But they're 2 separate movies, so we're going to just go like that. I really enjoyed this movie. I like the emotional weight that came with it. I like the emotional impact. I love the stakes. I love the characters. I like the tension that's there. I like how this is the end all, be all. This is gonna end one way. You know what I'm saying? And I just love how all of these Harry Potter movies have built up to this final moment, and it really delivers. Now, I do have problems with it because I feel like the war for Hogwarts. My brain farted. The war for Hogwarts. I wish it could have been a little bit longer, and I wish we could have seen more of the characters able to do their thing. And I wanted to see more fights, the independent fights. I wanted to see what Ronald could do in an actual fight. I wanted to see what Hermione could do in an actual fight. I wanted to see what Harry could do in an actual fight. I wanted to see some of the other characters, how they would, those who died, those who didn't. I just want to see straight up fights. Now, for what I was given, I really enjoyed it. I just wished it was a bit more specific with some of the fights, and they didn't end so quickly. But I will say that one thing that this does a hell of a lot better than the book, because I thought how Voldemort was defeated was fucking dumb. Pardon my French. But the movie does it a hell of a lot better. There's a more emotional weight to it. It feels more justified in the movie. And cinematically wise, it's just absolutely just a beautiful looking movie. So this is definitely what it's all built up to, and I was not disappointed, except for some of the the lacking specific fights. Maybe if there's deleted scenes to extend the fights, that fight sequence, that'd be probably cool, but I highly doubt it. But there's additional scenes that now that I think about it, I never actually took the time out to actually watch it. But okay, I really enjoyed this. This is definitely, if not my second favorite Harry Potter movie, is probably my first one. All right, this is another one that I actually listened to the book, and I freaking love the book, and The Fault in Our Stars. Now, this follows a girl that's suffering from lung cancer who ends up getting with a boy who got over his cancer, and just their relationship and her love for this author that wrote this book to help her get through so much that she's had to deal with. This is a very good movie. The performances are just freaking solid. A1 easily. Shailene Woodley. Ever since I watched her in Divergent. Where's my Divergent movie now that I think about it? Gosh, somebody stole some of my movies. But ever since I seen her in that, she's been on my list, and because I watched Divergent, I watched this. fantastic. She does a great job. Ansel Elgort, he does a freaking exceptional job in this movie. But it's the story, it's the focus on cancer patients, people that survive cancer, people that relapse, that makes it such a very, not only a good, compelling story, but just a very important topic to approach. And I think that the movie absolutely just captures the magical aspects of the actual book. Again, they perfectly cast these two. The characters are well written, the performance are good, the direction is on point. This is just an absolute, just awesome movie. This is easily within my top like 20 movies that are based on books, and I just enjoy watching it. Now this one, it's still wrapped up. I ain't opened it yet, but you know what I'm saying. I'm, like I said, time as usual, but it's still one of my personal favorites. Now I'm not sure how people are going to take this one, but I'll go ahead and just pop it on out. GoldenEye. Now, for those who don't know, the 007 series is based on books by Ian Fleming of, James Bond, and this is perhaps one of my like nah, I don't know if I should say top 10, yeah, but this is absolutely one of my top 5 favorite James Bond movies of all time. I love the performances. It's got an exceptionally good cast. It's got a lot of great action. There's humor. There's romance. There's tragedy. There's a lot of intrigue and mystery. I love the music. I was a fan of the game, and I like watching the movie because it kind of reminds me of when I was playing the game back in the day when I was younger. I mean, it's got, Pierce Brosnan, Sean Bean, Famke Jensen, and this is probably one of Famke Jensen's movies that put on the map. But of all the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies, I really like this one the most. It's like I said, it's just awesome all around. I take the time out to watch it all the freaking time, and every time I want to pop in a good Bond movie, this is definitely on the top of the list. And plus, this Russian lady was exceptionally beautiful. So, when it comes to the Bond movies, this is probably my favorite. I've only read one Ian Fleming Bond book, Devil May Care, and honestly, I didn't really like it too much. But I feel like I should go back and reread it. Maybe because I've been into watching these movies, so I'm used to like the explosions and gunfire and stuff like that. And that book was kind of a slow burn, but I'll go back and reread it and give it a shot. But this one of my favorites. Another, I haven't read this book, but Coraline. I like this movie. I think it's well done. I think it's meaningful. I think it has a lot to offer. I like the character. I like the stop motion, whatever. The stop motion effects are awesome. I like the characters, and it's just a great movie. I like the voice performances as well. I like the Nightmare Before Christmas, and you can definitely feel that there has that, if you want to say, gothic feel to it, like the Nightmare Before Christmas. But you can definitely tell that there's inspiration from that and this. And this is just good. It's an interesting story. It's told really well. And I like the fact that it manages to be a kid's story, but be dark. And that says something. I think this is one of the movies that doesn't feel like it's afraid to be a children's book, but also kind of go to that dark area and get really serious. Because at certain point in the movie, it gets really serious. But it's still a really good, enjoyable watch. Can't wait to read the book. Hopefully the book is as intense as the movie. And this movie is just really good. And plus, it's like an acid trip for kids. So, Coraline is on point. All right, then let's get on to Room. Now, this movie, I went and watched it, and I was like, I really enjoyed this. I don't know what the hell I was thinking when I went to go see this movie, but when it came out, something told me to go see it, so I went to go see it, and it focuses on this woman and her son who have been stuck who've been kidnapped, and focus on the woman who's been kidnapped, and she's been stuck in this room, this shed for like years. And the guy that kidnapped her, she ended up fathering his child, and it's his that room is his world. That's all he knows, and there comes a point when they finally leave, make it out of the room, and it's him. Part is him exploring the actual world that he's never known, and her, getting back into the world that she's been taken from. But it's the really powerful relationship between these two, and it's a really good movie. It's very touching. The performances are great. There's a lot of meaning to it, and I bought the book. Still haven't, but I just haven't read it. Yes, I wanted to compare. And this is where I learned about Brie Larson. Yes, Brie Larson has said some pretty stupid things concerning, Captain Marvel and gender identity politics and all that dumb stuff. But this right here can't take away her ability to act, and she does a fantastic job in this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It's really good. All right, now I did read this book, and it's another Stephen King one, The Mist. And this, not only did I read the book, I watched this movie and I watched the television series. And I have my thoughts about the television series, but it's not what everybody else thinks. But this movie is awesome. If you're reading The Mist, the descriptions of the creatures that are in this mist, because for those who don't know, The Mist is about this strange mist that envelops this town. These people are stuck in the supermarket because in the mist there's these monsters. And the representation of those monsters in this movie, which is good because you don't see most of them like that. If you do, it's like a dark silhouette. It's like a claw, but it's never that you really, really, really see them, especially the bigger ones. But one thing about this movie that Stephen King does a great job of, excuse me, and I have to say Frank Darabont, who directed this movie and wrote this movie, he managed to capture the what King intended this movie to be. Is despite the fact that monsters are outside the supermarket, that there are monsters inside. When I say monsters, I mean people. So I enjoyed the focus of the enemy that's within as well as the unknown enemies without. And they did a fantastic job with the performances in this movie. The characters are pretty likable. The sequences that they have with the monsters are just freaking awesome. I really wish that they could have did some kind of panel or something where you can actually see them. But the fact that you can't see them makes the movie their appearances that much more chilling. Now, I am going to admit this. I'm with everybody when I say the ending is shitty. It's not shitty. It's just it's like a why. I mean, it's like I guess I guess like if you're gonna go to Stephen King route, you'd be like, okay, well, I guess this is kind of like how it probably could end, but it's like no. I read the book. The book is like, it was like a kind of a hopeful ending. This one was just like, oh, that's just straight up a dick move. But still, one of my favorite horror movies and one of my favorite book movies. And last but not least, The Girl Who Played with Fire. Now, I got the book. I haven't read this. I've watched all of the movies, enjoyed all of the movies. Yes, I know a lot of people didn't like The Girl Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Not Girl Kicked the Hornet, The Girl in the Spider's Web, but I enjoyed it. I did watch the remake of the first one, and I did listen to the audiobook for the first one. Really enjoyed the audiobook for that. Unfortunately, I couldn't find an audiobook for this one, so I'm going to have to just read the book, which I will review during the book quarter of the year. But anyways, I really enjoyed this movie. What's weird is when I watched the remake, And when I seen that they had this, I thought this was a sequel to the remake. So when I watched this one, I didn't like it because I realized, wait, this is not it. So I stopped. I didn't watch it for a while, and then I went back and I watched all three, which this is the original, and I liked it. And I liked it. So I like this movie because it has intrigue. It has a mystery that this character's trying to follow me. Elizabeth Salander has not only become one of my favorite book characters of all time, she's become one of my favorite movie characters of all time. I really like her. She's smart. She's resourceful. I like the fact that she, despite all of this, she is human. There are needs that she need there are needs that she has. She has problems. She's antisocial, But I really enjoy her character, and I really enjoy her relationship with Blomfisk. At first, I didn't really like him, but then the more I watched the movies, I'm like, this man is freaking awesome. He's smart. He's resourceful. They both have really good chemistry together. They both work really well together when they do work together, when they are there together. But he's as interesting a character as she is. So when she's not on the screen, I'm not like just watching him being like, oh, man, I don't want to see him. I want to see her. No, I really enjoy both of them, and I cannot wait to read this book. And I got to give it to Numi Rapace. She does a fantastic job with the character. She completely owns the character. And if I had a chance, I'd marry this woman. I'm married now, and if I had a chance, I'd marry this woman, and it's caused all kind of problems in my relationship. But this is a really good movie. This is a really good movie for those who like the series. If you hadn't seen it, go check it out. But anyways, those are 10 of my favorite book movies or movies based on books that I own. So in the comment section below, guys, let me know, have you seen any of these movies? Have you read any of these books? And what are your top 10 movies that are based on books, or 10 of your favorite movies that are based on books? Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe button below. Hit that notification bell to know when the newest videos are coming out, and we'll definitely catch you guys later.